I bet you're from Florida.
No, I'm from Chicago.
Well, see, I'm not a betting person. So yeah, I do horribly at betting. So, but I will tell you, so Rollins, I had no idea until I started to read about what Rollins was. Rollins actually is a pest control company. And it also when I started reading about it, it was like it purchased Orkin. And I was like, oh. So when I brought it up to Randall, Randall was like, oh yes, it's a pest control. I used to see it when I was a kid. So this is one of the personal services lens into a broader consumer sector discussion. So of course, with the better investing, we love to look for companies that are growth. And this is really interesting because knowing that this company has been around as long as it has, it still is upward in parallel. And that's typically different from when you see that they kind of scale off a little bit and they kind of balance out. Not that they move, their growth is not upward. It's upward, but not in the steep that is exhibited here. So the uploaded ROL SSG classifies Rollins as a personal service and shows the strong growth, profitability, and risk reward matrix. Again, this is a consumer cyclical company. And what I was like, so when I saw this downward part here, and it was in 2019, which was really interesting because everything that, well, most of the companies that you'll evaluate, it's generally 2020. So because of, the pandemic, but ironically, it started to go upward and it has not digressed since then. So I think in terms, it's still been upward in mobile. Let me say that part because, of course, there was a part where it's kind of leveled out a little bit, but the peak was in 2021. And I was like, what could have happened in this period? But it's a matter of taking a look at what really was going on with the company. So what it does is a pest control, termite control, wildlife control, and related property protection services. Now I had to think about that's one thing I'm not going to sacrifice is I will not take the pest part of it has to, I'm even asking, when is the pest control coming? I mean, aren't they supposed to be here? So we have it quarterly and we believe in it. But being in Georgia, it's almost like you have to because of the termites. Yeah, that's at least annual, but you also want to stay consistent because of all the other. We kind of live in the woods. My husband reminds me all the time, Valencia, we're in their habitat. And so I always have to keep that in mind. And that's one of the things that I want to make sure that I keep in place, especially with the rain and in and out. But this is clearly a sector of business that people are not willing to give up so easily because of, I guess, maybe for the same reason that I have, but this is one of those companies that will likely not go anywhere because we need to, well, wildlife control from particularly. So the consumers in the revenue model, so they're most of them, the top their consumers are residential and commercial, but the residential consumers are the rent. I don't even think I did it as a renter. Well, I lived in an apartment building, but I'm sure that the apartment complex property was on top of it. Although my building had termites, still giving the backdrop, but it's a story for another day. However, the renters and landlords and property managers are the ones who consume these services the most. And then, of course, there's the commercial consumers that for the restaurants, clearly we need that, and hotels, et cetera, and offices and schools. So I thought, well, yeah, this is a service that really is how cyclical is it? Because regardless of whether or not anything happens with any of those things, you still are going to use this product, use this service, no matter how high it is. You'll still probably shop around for something lower, but these are the services that I will not abandon as a consumer. And of course, the money model is reoccurring contracts, one-time treatments, termite inspections, which I know it's a mandatory here in Georgia, and commercial service agreements and acquisitions. So the SSG supports this business quality. So there we are with the quality. The latest quarter sales increased from 823 million to 906 million, or we can say 10.2%. So the interpretation of the growth for SSG, the interpretation Rollins has grown earnings faster than sales, which can indicate operating leverage, margin control, and efficient acquisitions, which means their acquisitions make sense. So I will look at it as more of a horizontal opposed to a vertical acquisition. And the horizontal means that I'm buying things in my industry that will support my industry, maybe other companies. I would have to take a further look in that, and I didn't take the time to do that. But vertical would mean you're going outside of that. But the BI question is, are the future estimates realistic compared with the company's history and industry conditions? So we talked about the things that influence the consumer cyclical is the economic news through the Rollins lens. So Rollins is not immune to the economy, but demand is more need-based, again, need. Consumers spending optional add-on services may be delayed. So if something more or less like you get spread, you may whatever services, then of course the add-ons are something that they can dial back on, but you'll probably likely keep the services. So this is one of those companies that I like for the fact that I know that as a consumer that I need it. And then of course there's the tariffs and inflation. It's more or less, I would think it's fuel, and of course the other industries that they rely upon were the vehicles, uniforms, we looked at Cintas last month, would be what for the uniforms or the cleaning and all those other things that are more impacted by tariffs that would likely increase their expenses because of their need to be able to continue the business with the same model. And of course, the job market, strong employment supports residential plans and commercial customers. So the SSG evidence of resilience. Rollins grew latest quarterly sales 10.2 and maintained a 5-year average pre-tax margin of 18.9%. Phenomenal. So of course, these are all the characteristics that we look for in a strong company, and a quality company, not so much as strong as it is quality stock to look into. And the economic news affects the outlook, but the SSG helps test whether the company has managed through cycles. And managed quality from the SSG. The strength, the 5-year ROE, return on equity of 34.2% shows strong returns on shareholders' equity. Watch items, debt to capital was 43.6% on the SSG front page, and the 5-year average was 34.1%. Debt should be monitored. So the BI, the better investment interpretation, the profitability is positive, but quality should be balanced against debt and valuation. So clearly we need to monitor debt. Oh, so it's really good. So here we are, the valuation, risk and rewards. The current price is $45. The forecast high is $96.40. The forecast low is $39.30. And initially I put, because it's so close, because the number that, because of the, I used the upside down ratio when I was doing the SSG and did 80% of the current value, because once I used the lowest PE, it actually gave me a high upside down ratio, which was like somewhere in 33 to 1. And I was like, clearly that's not what needed to happen. Was that I needed to come lower in terms of because it's so close. Our current price is so close to the low, what the number of what the amount the low PE was was returning. It was better that I used the upside down ratio. I went down and took it down to 30 to 39. I used 80% of the current price because that was the rule of thumb of being able to bring it down. Of course, you have the options when it comes to the SSG. So that was a better option for me to be able to take that one. But again, it's 8.8 to 1 ratio. So my conclusion and sources is the quality case. is that it's consistent growth based on our better investing principles, consistent growth, reoccurring service demand, which means that they'll dial it back, but they won't totally eliminate the service. And it has high margins and strong ROE. And caution, current PE is still high versus the broad consumer discretionary average. Debt should be reviewed. So that keep an eye on the debt. We'll see what it looks like, and likely this time next year to see whether or not it went up and down. But then it takes further investigation. It still may also check off the boxes of having a strong PE, as well as whatever the other characteristics that make up a good quality stock. In the decision process, complete a full SSG comparison against direct peers before making an investment decision. I typically do that, but there's also the guide that helps us do that as well. So Rollins, I did that one. So any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I have a comment. It was great. I have had Rollins probably for years. And one of the why their debt is going up is because they're acquiring a lot of these companies. They're like in 8 countries. So they're not just local, but they're globally a company that is servicing the pest industry. What I have found about this company, it's a sleeper. I mean, nobody really knows about it because people don't talk about it. And they make their money, revenue on a monthly basis is because it's a subscription-based service that people buy into. And they constantly go out every month and spray or do whatever they do for residential. They do a lot of it. Their commercial industry is huge. It blows me away that their commercial part of it is giving them so much more revenue than the residential. So that's what I found when I did my research on this Rollins company, because it's just like, wow.
Well, that was one of the other things that I strongly encourage too, was when looking at a company. I used to choose stock prior to better investing based upon how I used it or how I used that product or service. And I did not have any idea that they even exist. And it wasn't until really using the tool to actually look at quality stocks and based upon the strong margins and strong characteristics of a good quality stock, that I did not get the same idea. I had no idea, but I was like, but I'm with you. So now it makes me, is it at a good price? Am I willing, what's my long-term goal with it? And it does pay a dividend. I meant to mention that too.
Yeah, it does.
So I forgot that part. So yeah, and so therefore, I mean, a great investment, but in terms of, I mean, of course, it would be a great income stock long term, but it would certainly depend on the other variables as well as in your portfolio. But thank you for that. I appreciate that, because that was a lot more information than I actually even knew about. And I learned a lot doing this whole exercise, and especially doing the educational portion of it. Okay. Alrighty, I think where were we at? Where are we? Okay. Alrighty, so we are now group 2. We did the stocks, which was the one that we did. Do we have any discussion on purchases or sales that we'd like to go over for the stocks? Oh, Miss Ann. Oh, we have a hand raised. Okay.
It's me. Sorry. My hands
Okay.
is not raised. I'm trying to take it down.
Oh, no. All right, Laverne, thank you. So, yeah, other than that, do we have any purchase? I would have suggested this one, but I really would have really liked to have a discussion on, I think it's a quality stock. Does it fit in our portfolio, and how does it fit in our portfolio based upon what I know we have of the consumer, the super consumer and sectors, and how I didn't know how we would want to approach, or did it fit for us in terms of what our goals are. So I think that becomes a conversation for not just myself, but it becomes a conversation. I mean, becomes a conversation for the club to see in what direction we'd like to go. That was one of the reasons that I had asked to see where we were in terms of our diversity in sectors. Okay, well, everyone don't speak at once, but nonetheless, well, since we're getting closer to the end and most of the things, everything we've already covered, we have any guests that like to introduce themselves and give us. I know we've heard from Miss Cheryl Carter. Miss Carter, where are you from?
You might have dropped off. But we
Oh,
do
sure.
have a lot of
Well,
guests on because we have, actually, she is there. We have more guests than members today. So this is the time when our guests get off mute and, share if you want to share something you've learned or just introduce yourself and say hello.
well, I'll go first. Hello, everyone. I'm Terrell Dixon out of Detroit, Michigan. I was invited by Valencia. It's a pretty good overall meet. Um, mind blowing. I'm very interested in hearing and learning more and being a part of it. So, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, Terrell.
Can I go next?
Yes.
So my name is Cheryl Carter, and I actually come to the meeting on a regular basis. I live in Chicago, and we also have a model club that we have and host on the last Monday of every month. But I come to your club meeting for insight because I think a lot of times when we get different perspectives of what other clubs are doing, it helps us overall to be better, to service the people that are looking for just a variety of information or just perspective, because everybody doesn't have the same questions. So I think it helps us all to get better. And I appreciate always being able to come.
Well, I thank you for the feedback, and and if anyone else want to give us feedback on what we did right or what we could do better, we certainly are looking for opportunities and ways to actually expand. As I go to other clubs and visit, and just the silent person in the background, and I see a lot of great things and things that I'd like to adopt, and gives us an opportunity to be better. So, if anyone else would like to share, I certainly would. Thank you, Ms. Carter. Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Is there anyone else that'd like to share?
Hi, hi, this is Lola Mason. I live in Naples, Florida. I just found this on the internet because I'm just interested in learning about, picking stocks. I've always just done mutual funds, and so I've been very fortunate. But I'm retired, and this seemed like something fun to do. So it's my first time here.
Well, welcome. Well, you're more than welcome to come back and visit. Have you visit the betterinvesting.org?
Yes, I just looked at it, and that's why I signed up. So I read the articles that were there.
Awesome. Well, we encourage you to come back and visit us each month. There is if you ever think about in the future of joining us, there is we request that you visit for 8 months, or I think that's the minimum. I have to look at our bylaws, and I'm almost positive that's it. And also then perform an SSG. So, but we love to have more participation, and so you're more than welcome. I'm glad. Thank you, and for letting us be a part of your day and taking time out for us to to visit us. Certainly appreciate it, and we'll come back. We're here. Our next meeting is going to be August 15th at the same time. So you're more than welcome. I look forward to it. I hope you can find a home here.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Douglas Haynes. I'm from the Agbara Investment Club in Pembroke Pines, Florida, South Florida. And this is not my first visit to your meetings. I love to come because somehow it gives me different perspective on how to research my stocks. And there's a learning opportunity in every situation. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being letting us be a part of your day. I certainly appreciate it. I hope that you were able to take something away. But again, yeah, well, since you said you've been here a couple of times, you can come a few more. You can actually, yeah, it's the door's open.
All right, thank you.
But thank you for letting us be a part of your day. And you could have been anywhere, but you chose to be with us, and I certainly appreciate that.
Learning, you can't get too much of it.
Absolutely. I agree. This is some fun learning too. And at the same time, building wealth, that part. So, and yeah, there's other things that, yeah, you'll find to be that if you really go on, take a look at the betterinvesting.org. There's a 90-day free membership. I took advantage of that and I jumped right in and I have not looked back since. And it helps. It really helps. Yeah. So anyone else?
Hi, I'm Tiffany Circle. It's my first time as a guest, and I was very active in the predecessor to Better Investing, which was National Association of Investors Corporation in my hometown of Lexington, Kentucky. But I now live in Florida, so I just happened to search for an option down here and was happy to find this group and really enjoyed the meeting today. An excellent presentation by you, Valencia, too. And I pulled up the website. My only question was, there's an email address listed. Is that how potential members get more information on exactly how to join and how to the cost and how that works at getting involved with the portfolio?
So you're saying that when you went to the website, they were asking for your email?
No, I'm saying I was looking at the website to find out how I can get more details about this club. For example, exactly how to join and how much we contribute. Is it a monthly contribution towards the portfolio that you showed today? It shows an email address of contact@southflorida.betterinvesting.net. Is that the best way to get more details?
Investing, shouldn't it be betterinvesting.org? Does anyone else have that information? Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I think that she needs to go to betterinvesting.org, which is she's going to the local chapter website.
Oh.
And she needs to go to the national website, betterinvesting.org.
Okay.
And then I also need, I don't know if anyone here, I was going to ask that question, is anybody here knows where, I guess I'm going to do in the search to find the 90-day trial, because I have also somebody else that was curious and I want to introduce them to, go ahead, hey, here's a 90-day free membership. You get started, it's a trial. You play with it. I don't know if that includes the tools, which is the SSG, or if you have to pay for that. But I know that there's also a discount going on right now. I don't know, but that might only be for Better Investing members, where you can get the tools at a discount.
Yes,
Oh,
I
on
see
the
that
front
link.
page.
But
So Christian, Valencia, I don't want to interrupt, but I can't find my raise your hand button. So anyway, I just wanted to say, I had that same issue that Christian had, trying to find that 90-day free trial. If you log in under your you're not going to see it. But if you don't log in and you're just a guest, all the way down at the front page, all the way down at the bottom, in the black section, there's the 90-day free trial. But you will not see it if you're logged in with your own ID.
I'm going
You
to
only
go
see it if
to
you're
it
a
now.
guest. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I just logged out and I'll share it because I just logged back in. Let me go to here it is. So
Yes.
this is the portion, well, because I had to log out of mine, like you were saying.
Yes. Go all the way to the bottom. In the black section, you should be able to see 90-day free trial.
There it is.
Yes.
You see
You
that?
only see it if you're not logged in.
So once you go to the 90, so let me put this in the, I'll put this here. Copy, I'll put it in the chat. At least we'll have the link there. And we'll go from there. You can use that link And then, of course, like Yvonne said, go down to the 90-day trial. And yeah, so there it is at the bottom. Does everyone see that? Was that helpful?
Yes. And I also saw the link when I was on the .com, betterinvesting.com as well.
.org? Because
No.
I think,
Well, when I was at the original site, the .com, it was showing me a link for the 90-day membership. And then if you click that link, then it takes you to this betterinvesting.org.
oh, okay. So, it does. I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
I never knew that. So thank you for sharing because typically, yeah. Yes, it takes you right over to it. So it must point to that website. Mariama, you were saying?
Oh, no,
Okay. Okay, no worries. Was there, well, thank you, but you, was that helpful? So I make sure that you got the information so that you know that that's exactly where you go. And you mentioned something, I think the question was that you asked about, is there, each club is different. Our club, you have to come to at least 8 meetings and then perform an SSG. But along the way, we clearly help you with that, doing the SSG. And thank you, Christian, for putting that 90-day in there too. And giving that link to the 90-day website, portion of the website. But this one, our club, I can't remember. I don't remember how much do we do a month? I can't remember. So each club varies. Is it $25 or is it $50? But I think the minimum you can do is $25. And
Right.
yeah, that's the minimum you can do is $25 per month. And yeah, so, but that's really truly up to you. But once you're indoctrinated into the club, you're more than welcome. We look forward to having you involved and getting. The goal is this is the educational portion. This is an educational space where you can actually learn. There's no judgment. I'm constantly learning, especially from the veterans, the more seasoned people who actually have who use these principles to build out their portfolio. So it's been nothing but a blessing. I don't even like getting rid of my stocks, even though they teach you how to trim and they tell you why it's necessary to trim. But also with what you get in it every month too. I have to show this because this is one of my things that I love. You get a Better Investing book, a magazine every month. And I will tell you, you will love these articles. I've learned so much just through the articles alone. And Miss Ann was going to talk earlier about the Automatic Millionaire, and that's the irony was that the Automatic Millionaire is the book that was featured that was in the most recent issue, which was June of Better Investing magazine. And we would just so happen to be talking about it, but she gave me this book told me to get this book years ago when I first started doing getting involved in Better Investing. And I will tell you that I've learned so much that my daughter knows how to look at a quality company and all the principles as well. I'm still trying to get my other children involved. It's a story for another day. But however, not all is lost. I just said you cannot inherit not a dollar or a penny unless you know how to make that portfolio grow. So, and that's in my will. So, but and I had to put that there because I think it is really important to just to just give someone. But when you give them, they said what's the Chinese proverb? You can when you can fish, but if you teach a man how to fish, he can feed himself. Or okay, you kind of get the gist of it. But this is what this is for me. It is that but again, you get the magazine. I can go on and on about this stuff because this is the one thing that gives me joy is to be able to share this type of information, but not also but be around other people who I learn from consistently about how to invest in stocks. And right now, people think it's too late to get involved. It's not ever too late. It's just one stock at a time, one investment at a time, and you don't ever know when that is going to be, what's going to happen, but the goal is to create that solid portfolio. Okay, I've talked enough. Anyone else before any more, so I can give the balance of your day back or your Saturday?
Just one quick clarification. Did you mean that before you can actually pay in the 25 plus per month into the portfolio, you first have to do the 8 months of attendance and an SSG presentation, and then you can start investing?
That's specifically for the South Florida chapters model club. That's specifically
Okay.
for us. Our bylaws are that. That's what
Okay.
we,
All right.
And-
Thank you.
8 months? Anyway, I really have to go back and check. That seems
What
like
is
a
it,
lot.
Mariama?
I have to go back and check. It seems like a lot. I don't remember if that's what I did, but that was what, almost 5
Mariama, well, I
ago.
thought you were here in the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so that doesn't apply to you, Mariama. It's just for our new
Oh, okay.
members or guests that want to join.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so you were one of the founding members, but that's just the criteria, because what I learned is the time is investment, the being serious about what it is. And what we find is that people will fall off after a couple months if that's really not for them. But we would love for you to visit again. So if this is your first visit, I think you said that, this will be counted as number one.
Yes,
So,
thank you so much. I've really enjoyed being a guest.
okay, well, we'd like for you to come back. And again, this is all educational, and it gives you an opportunity, but you'll enjoy it. I enjoy it immensely. Especially gives you something to do in your retirement. Maybe I can get my husband a job. He's supposed to retire in about a month from now. So we'll see what happens. So in the meantime, if there anyone else would like to make a comment. Okay, well, I think that I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay, well, you're all free to go, and our next meeting is August 15th at 10 a.m. So please come back to join us. And in the meantime, you all have a happy Saturday, and
Happy Father's Day to the fathers.
Thank
happy
you.
Father's
All
Day
right.
to the father.
Thank you. The same to you
All right.
all. See you
Bye-bye.
next time.
Thank you.
Till next
Bye.
time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Have a great day.
So